What's up, everybody? We are back with some NFL preseason DFS picks and lineup advice for DraftKings and FanDuel. This time for the preseason Week 1 Thursday slate, a two-gamer. Welcome. I'm Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, NFL $1 million winner on DraftKings, multi-time preseason GPP winner. We'll get to that in a second. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. What we're going to do in this video, I'm going to give you 5 or 6 guys that you have to roster in tonight's preseason DFS contest on DraftKings and FanDuel. One from each position, maybe a couple from each position, including one sleeper that we really like. And I think you'll enjoy. Preseason is one of the most profitable times of the year, as you can see on screen here. This is from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I won the $50K top prize in the DraftKings preseason GPP. And I know a lot of you new viewers may be like, why should I listen to this guy? We have the results to prove it. And we look at preseason in a completely different way than most other industry sites do. This is from 2 years ago, 20K winner. And this is last year, 10K winner on a 2-game slate, just like tonight. So you're wondering, why should I listen to this guy? Here are the results. Stay tuned to the end of the video. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel here because we're posting the YouTube video every day. There are preseason games for NFL with preseason DFS picks. So let's get started for tonight's game, and we'll start at the quarterback position. So first of all, there are 2 games tonight, Patriots and the Panthers, Giants and the Lions. And at the quarterback position, generally in preseason DFS, you're looking for guys that are going to play at least a half, if not a majority of the game. And we have 2, potentially 3 guys tonight that fit that bill. We'll start with the Giants, and at quarterback, Tommy DeVito drew some starts last year for the Giants, so we know he has some level of talent. And there's a decent chance he plays 3 quarters, if not more, in this game. Let's go to the Giants depth chart here on, this is from their beat reporter, posted on Twitter, which was clearly made in 2007 Adobe Acrobat. So they have 3 quarterbacks on the roster, which is always great. We're looking for rooms, positional rooms that don't have many guys to compete with. Daniel Jones will rest tonight after joint practices with the Lions. Drew Lock will likely only play a couple of series. Most reporters expect that as well. And Brian Dable, their head coach, his playing time trends indicate that as well. One of the big advantages we have over pretty much anyone playing preseason DFS contests, our ability to track historical preseason playing time trends and then use those trends to predict who's going to play how many snaps in future games. This here, if you're not a member of OccupyFantasy.com, is our preseason snap count and opportunity data dashboard. You can go back and look at the last 6 years of preseason data to look at which coaches have played which guys at which positions, how many snaps in each week of the preseason. Last year, let's just look at the Giants quarterback situation. Similar situation with joint practices. Daniel Jones rested. Their number 2 quarterback, who is now Drew Lock. It was Tyrod Taylor last year. He played just 8 snaps, and Tommy DeVito played the rest of the way, 86% of the snaps. 86% is a high number, but it is the upside that DeVito shows. Bare minimum, he's playing a half tonight, but there's a good upside for probably 3 quarters or more based on the trends and based on what reporters are telling us. Another guy that fits that bill is for the Panthers, and it's Jack Plummer. Yeah, very typical name here, Jack Plummer. Undrafted rookie free agent. And if we look at the Carolina depth chart, let's pull it up here. This is a much nicer, clean web version of the depth chart they released for the game. And we look at quarterbacks. Bryce Young is going to sit. Andy Dalton is dealing with a quad injury. He will be out. They just signed Jake Luton on Monday. He does know the system a bit, but coaches are excited and expect Jack Plummer to play a majority, maybe all of this game. So he has the safer playing time of the 2 between he and DeVito. DeVito has probably the bigger talent gap. But Plummer could play an entire game here. So both those guys are the ones you want to consider heavily in your preseason DFS lineups tonight. There is one other quarterback who may play a half or more. We still haven't confirmed it yet, so make sure you check back to our daily plug at OccupyFantasy.com when we publish that later and as we post updates throughout the evening. If you haven't been a member of OccupyFantasy.com, this is what our preseason daily plug looks like. This is from the 2022 season, but just to give you a quick idea of what it looks like, we give the top plays at each position. We come in and update in blue text anytime there was an update leading up to a game starting. We give the top stacking options, which was key to my preseason wins in the past, for each team on the slate with each quarterback. We give the primary showdown slate, the top plays for captain MVP for the primary showdown slate as well. We talk about how to build your lineups for different contest types. And then most importantly, what everyone comes for, the playing time notes and expectations. We give notes on basically every single player, how they've been performing in practice, which players are going to be out, which position groups are thin, and those all-important playing time trends are included in these as well for every single team on the slate. It's the most comprehensive guide you can find for a preseason DFS slate. OccupyFantasy.com, links in the description below. Usually post it 3, 4, 5 p.m. Eastern on these weeknights, earlier in the day on the weekend preseason DFS slates. Yes, I know many of you just want free picks. We'll give you those in these videos. You want the full rundown on how to build preseason DFS lineups, build winning lineups like I have. Check out our preseason daily plug. That'll be posted later today. All right, now let's talk about some running backs here. And it's a tough running back slate, admittedly. No real depleted backfields, not many playing time trends to go off of, no true talents. But we think New England has the best chance of providing some value here. Ramondre Stevenson is going to start. Let's pull up the New England depth chart here, and this was built in 1997 Microsoft Word. I'm not sure. Let me scroll down here so you can see it. But these are the running backs here right above the defense line. Ramondre Stevenson is going to start, play a couple snaps probably with the starter Jacoby Brissett. Antonio Gibson, they brought in free agency. He is a veteran. He'll probably play a few snaps here or there. JaMychal Hasty is a guy they like, is competing for the number 3 running back spot. We expect him to probably finish out the half. And then it's Kevin Harris and Terrell Jennings to mostly get the second half run. Harris has been on the team for a couple of years. Terrell Jennings is an undrafted free agent. Both of these guys have gotten reviews in camp that are positive. Both of these guys have been highlighted as beat reporters as running backs you want to target because they're likely to get a lot of playing time in the preseason. So on a very tough running back slate, I don't think you can go wrong with these back-end running backs for New England. Now, this is a new coaching staff. Obviously, Belichick was here for years, but the new head coach, Gerard Mayo, was under Belichick, played for Belichick. Very good chance he subscribes to Belichick's playing time trends from previous years. Historically, Belichick has given back into the running back roster tons of snaps in preseason games. So we can go out on a limb, especially when we don't have much concrete info to go off of, and hope that Harris and Jennings get a good amount of run tonight. So they're two of the top plays at the running back position. All right, let's just put these guys in the lineup so we don't forget. Let's get the running backs in here. And you can play, now if you play regular season DFS, you may think normally you don't play 2 running backs from the same team. 2-game slate, we're worried about playing time. You can play 2 guys from the same team. You don't necessarily have to target it, but when 2 of the top plays are from the same team, you certainly can. So Kevin Harris, Terrell Jennings, let's get those guys in there. We'll put Tommy DeVito at quarterback for now. Sticking with New England, you might have 3-4 New England guys in your lineup tonight. That is also something that is very possible for preseason DFS. Before we get into the receivers, let's take the quick water break. Those who watched the Showdown videos last year remember the water breaks very well. We still need to get those sponsored, but all right, got to stay hydrated. Receivers. There are some spots here that we like for receiver. I think where most people will go is a New England situation because of Belichick's history, Mayo's likelihood of subscribing to that theory. And they have a couple guys that are out. Kendrick Bourne's going to be out. Demario Douglas is likely to be out. Tyquan Thornton is likely to be out dealing with a soft tissue injury. 2 guys that have been highlighted repeatedly. If you played best ball, you know you've been drafting them. Javon Baker and Jalen Polk. Polk has been the more consistent of the 2, has been running with the starters. Gerard Mayo says a guy you build your franchise around. So maybe if you are drafting best ball or dynasty drafts, Polk's a guy you want to target. Baker has been getting work with the 2nd and 3rd team, and he's had more highlight plays, but hasn't been as consistent as Polk. Now, both these guys are likely great preseason DFS plays. I prefer Baker. Our staff prefers Baker for the sole reason that sometimes when guys are so important to their team, they don't play a lot in preseason DFS. They did this with Demario Douglas last year. Probably should have hinted to us that Douglas would play a larger role in the regular season than we expected heading into the year. But if Polk truly is a guy you build around and has been getting first-team reps and other guys are banged up, there's a chance Polk doesn't play a ton in this game. Whereas Baker, according to beat reporters, needs more reps, needs to show more consistency. There's a chance he plays a lot more than Polk. So for that reason, Polk is more of a high-risk play because of the playing time uncertainty. Baker's a guy we really like in all contest types. So Javon Baker, probably our favorite receiver play on the board tonight. Another guy, and we have to monitor this is the sleeper I alluded to at the beginning of the show. Let's monitor his pregame reports because he did return to practice this week, missed a little bit last week. It's Bryce Ford Wheaton. Now, we know that his ownership is going to be depleted because of this questionable tag. No one's going to want to click a questionable tag guy on a preseason DFS slate. His ownership is going to be low. We know that. But historically, for Brian Dable, let's go back to the playing time trends I was showing you earlier. This is typical. Past few years, we see guys in the back end, third and fourth team receivers get 30, 40, 70% of the snaps in preseason week 1 for the Giants. Now, it just so happens Bryce Ford Wheaton was that guy last year. He was trending towards making the team before tearing his ACL in the final preseason game. We're not playing him just because he played 71% of the snaps in this spot last year, but he's in the exact same role. And he's a guy that reporters have highlighted repeatedly. So even if he doesn't play 71%, we anticipate Ford Wheaton getting 30%, 40% of the snaps in this game, and a guy who has produced. And we likely get lowered ownership as a result, while people focus on New England, Carolina, and possibly Detroit receiver. So Bryce Ford Wheaton, you're looking for a sleeper in larger contests. He's a guy that we truly do like. Finally, let's close it out with a tight end that we like. If you watched our video for the Hall of Fame game, we mentioned Cade Stover. We mentioned how drafted rookie tight ends often perform very well in preseason DFS because tight end is a position that, unlike running back, receiver, and even quarterback to an extent, but definitely running back and receiver, where you don't need a ton of reps to transition to the NFL. Tight end, you need a lot. That's why most guys don't break out until year 2, year 3. As a result, these guys get way more playing time than your average rookie, especially drafted rookies throughout the preseason. And because they're talented, they got drafted, they often produce in preseason DFS. There are a couple guys like that tonight that could mimic what Cade Stover did in the Hall of Fame game. But the one we like the most is for Carolina. And you can pair him up possibly with Jack Plummer. They've been working together in practice. And that's Ja'Tavion Sanders, rookie 4th-round pick. They're having some issues with health at tight end. Stephen Sullivan was placed on IR. Both Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas will miss this game. They did sign 2 more guys, more back end of the roster guys, but we expect Ja'Tavion Sanders to play at least a quarter, but probably a half in this game. And with his talent, he can easily get there. And again, tight end in preseason DFS, if you haven't played much or you forgot, you just want to get a couple catches. If you get a couple catches, you're ahead of the field at preseason DFS. You get a touchdown, even better. So just Ja'Tavion Sanders is our number 1 tight end for tonight's slate. Let's get him into the lineup here. So these are the guys that you should build your lineups around. There's some other guys. More plays will undoubtedly open up tonight once we get pregame inactives. It happens every single year. It happens every single slate, especially with the Patriots, seemingly. So you want to stay tuned. You want to read our daily plug. You want to be in our Discord server for late-breaking updates, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. Link is in the description for how to join. And it's going to be a good one. Again, we're doing these videos every single day. There is a preseason game, so make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. It is free to do so. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're trying to do that before the regular season. So help us out. Help us get there. It is free. A great way to show your support for the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Any questions you have, I will monitor this channel throughout the day. Drop a comment below. If you have any thoughts on who you like to play, sleepers, drop a comment. Any questions, I will answer them in the comments. But again, the best absolute way is our Discord server, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. And again, our daily plug will be posted probably 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern, updated throughout the night. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate you listening. As always, I'm excited that football is back. Excited to have you along for the ride for the entire preseason and regular season. So, let's get it, and good luck tonight.